Three, two, one. All right, man. We're live.
We're live.
We are the
No
Undiagnosed Shamans.
Shamans.
That's right. All right. So in today's episode, number 2, exciting times.
We're going to be talking about some stuff.
Yeah. You want to do a quick recap of kind of who we are and our names and stuff like that?
Yeah, that sounds good, man. So we're the Undiagnosed Shamans, and basically that just means that, people with bipolar and schizophrenia, if they were born in like a jungle or place where there was a village, maybe in Peru or something, we'd probably be shamans by now, right?
Yeah, it would be the town healer.
Yeah, it'd be the village healer. So
That's right.
that's kind of our thing now. So we're
Yeah.
yeah.
So, to me, Undiagnosed Shamans is basically folks living with mental illness. We talk about things like that from a perspective that's more about spirituality and transcendence. And we see mental illness sometimes as half gift, half curse.
Yeah.
We talked about last time.
Yeah, we did.
And as taboo as it can be. So, Mark, kick us off with your topic, man.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the name of the individual I mentioned in the last episode that ended his life. That was a DJ friend of mine at Kent State when I went to school there. His name was Jason Scott Campbell, and he passed away on July 19th of 2020. Took his own life, like I said. Was diagnosed, I believe, with bipolar at some point before that, and then just wasn't doing well. And but he was in a movie called Nightmare, and it was made in 2005, and you can find it on more information on IMDb. So I just wanted to set the record straight with Jason, and that he was a good guy, and sorry that he's gone. And bipolar disorder and depression take a lot of lives every day in this country and
That's
around
right.
the world. It's tragic.
Tell me about the times you struggle with depression.
Usually depression for me follows a manic episode, right in line, and it's usually pretty awful. I want to just stay in bed all day. I feel like I don't want to be conscious. I just want to be sleeping and unconscious all day. But then your back starts to hurt because you're in bed so much, and this is when you're between jobs and stuff is when depression is the worst for me, because I lose all the structure.
Yeah.
Structure is important when you're dealing with depression, to stick to some kind of routine every day. And exercise is usually a really good one. Getting out there, walking, doing some grounding, walking barefoot.
Okay.
Stuff like that. What do you do to try to break free of depression?
Well, for me, depression looks a lot the same. It looks like kind of sleeping way too much, 20 hours a day, and losing track with your friends and things like that. That's when stuff's going south. When you're really in a bad place. For me, what I do is the first thing I do is I talk to my medical team, my people that support me as far as providers and things like that. That only goes so far. Unfortunately, a lot of folks think that they take care of you 100%. And it's really a lot of it's on you in a lot of ways. I would say that for me, first thing I would do is try to get on some sort of structured schedule, even if it means holding down a part-time job. It really helps. Taking over some sort of menial task in the house and making sure that, as our friend JP says, make your room and clean up your space. And
JP?
Jordan Peterson.
Oh, I was like, who? Okay.
That guy's funny. I really respect him because he reminds me of my old psych professors from Cleveland State when I was a student there. So whenever people like get all bent out of shape about him, it's like, oh, that's just a typical professor from like 2005.
What did
Like,
he teach when he was a professor?
he's a psychology professor
Oh, okay.
at University of Toronto. I think at least he was.
Yeah. Now he's like a celeb, so.
He pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I hear a lot about those guys, him and his daughter Michaela, is this related to the topic is regards to diet and what you eat when you know can affect your physical state of being and your mental state of being. And one thing I've been doing recently for myself is I've been kind of leaning in more towards like a very low carb, mostly meat kind of diet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to keep you guys posted, see where this goes, because I'm kind of interested in their whole thing where like reversing diseases with diet and, you know, really limiting and seeing what works for you or not.
Yeah, food is medicine, man. I think who said that originally?
I don't know. I think probably some sort of Greek philosopher.
I think it was a Greek philosopher too, yeah.
I had a doctor prescribe me once some high dose of B6.
Oh, yeah?
As an antidepressant. Yeah.
B6 helped you?
I think it was B6. I think the brand name is called Dublin.
Sure you weren't playing bingo? It's a B6.
That'd be cool though. I would want a cool prize. Maybe some I don't know. I got nothing.
You know, cats and dogs help with sorry, I was thinking of something else. Cats and dogs help with depression too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you spend time with your pets.
I think there's actually like a whole like science around that, like evidence-based type of thing with not only with cats and dogs, but like horses and like I think dolphins too, maybe. They have an effect, psychological effect. I mean, I think having a dolphin would be hard as a pet, but I think you can maybe go to a petting zoo of some sort that has them available.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a horse in your apartment, obviously, but go to like a equestrian type of therapy place.
Yeah. You got a great cat here too.
Yeah, Kitty. Kitty's curious.
Can your cat be an emotional support animal, or is that just dogs?
She actually, it's a good question actually. So last year around this time, I was living with somebody who was very bad for me, and recently I moved out, and my cat was there with me there at the time, and whenever I got into arguments with my significant other at the time, which wasn't really a significant other because we have been long story, my kitty actually would actually come up and kind of console me when I was really upset. Like she knew when I was like in a bad mood.
Like post argument,
yeah,
the cat would come to you and console
in argument,
you.
she'd come in and just like her purring will like affect like my whole physical, mental well-being. Like it would be a really big boost. And I don't know, man. I think a lot of that's kind of was almost life-saving, to be honest.
I got a weird cat story for you. My cat like jumps on my chest and does a lot of purring, which is nice, and it's like healing.
Yeah.
So I do Reiki, which is Japanese energy work that started I think in the early 1900s. But I felt like my cat one day was on my I was laying down. The cat was on my shoulder, kind of like digging its nails into my shoulder, and I felt like it was attuning me with my Reiki hands, like giving me more. Like an attunement in Reiki means like you're opening yourself up to next level of Reiki or whatever, Reiki 1, Reiki 2.
Okay.
They do attunements. And I felt like the cat was doing that to me because I felt like the Reiki was getting stronger in my right hand, but I was just kind of like opening my hand up and checking things out. And isn't that weird? Like I think cats are a lot more spiritually and smarter than people give them credit for.
Yeah, I wonder if your cat knew like what's almost like endowed with knowledge of like acupuncture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? Like your cat knew which spot in your body to touch or to need to really get the energy flowing.
And they see spirits too, right? I mean, people have.
I think so. I've seen my cat stare at the wall long enough to to really kind of like,
Yeah.
what are you staring at, bro? Like, there's nothing there in the corner.
I always wish I could see what they see.
Yeah, it'd be cool. One thing I have experienced is a cat that recently passed. Not recently, like I said today, but at the time, I had a cat that had recently passed. That I would wake up in the morning, like early, between like the twilighty 5 to 6, 7 a.m. kind of thing, and I would feel like kind of tippy toes in the bed, kind of like a cat would jump on your bed and tippy toes.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, wait, I don't have a cat. So kind of get like a visitor a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of like, hey, I'm still here.
Oh, that's nice.
It's pretty cool. I think definitely cats are a phenomenally important thing for mental health. Dogs too. Dogs seem to be more like, I'm here, Dad. Help, let's play. Like they're very more like active, like maybe less moody and less pensive and more like. And that seems to have like its own type of different kind of mental health boost in like in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It seems like it takes longer to win a cat's trust, because when we got our recent cat, I called it the house bully for a while, because it would like try to bat at you when you walk by.
Yeah.
And it did that for like the first month or so, and then eventually you kind of win its trust over. So I think cats are different than dogs in that regard, that you have to like win their trust, and they don't just automatically come up to you and, you know, assume that you're a good person or something. You got to kind of work for it.
Yeah, it's like they have their own little personality.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I would say about dogs that try to make them go outside and play fetch is that a lot of the things that I've done that's helped me with my well-being mentally is exercise, and dogs seem to be like encouraging of, hey, I'm gonna go walk the dog kind of thing. Like you don't really walk your cat, but
no,
you walk the dog and throw. It's just in general exercise on its own. It seems to be pretty healing.
Yeah. Cats exercise on their own, you said?
No.
Dogs. Oh,
dogs. No. Did I say that wrong?
I don't know. I got lost.
Okay. I meant that exercise is healing, and dogs encourage exercise.
Yes.
Not like cats do.
Yeah.
Cats just want to lounge around.
Yeah.
Feed me kind of thing.
Yeah.
The whole Garfield thing.
It's a good cartoon.
Have you ever done a lot of exercise because of your mania? You just like run laps around the building or whatever?
Yeah, when I was manic the first time in '94, I ran from Deaconess Hospital to it was called Jacobs Field at the time, which is 4.5 miles away from Deaconess Hospital. I just took off, ran, because me and my mom got in an argument, and I scaled the fence at Jacobs Field and started to run the bases that weren't there, because it was during the MLB baseball strike of '94. So,
man,
and then I rescaled the fence and got out and got a ride home from my brother-in-law, which was nice.
That's cool. I haven't heard about that baseball strike in forever. It's like a '90s blast of the past kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I remember that actually. As a side note. So, you know, I typically don't have like the whole exercise, like my mania is pushing me towards like being more physically active in that regard. For me, when I was really in that zone of like hypomania, I really want to go out and just party and get crazy.
Really?
Yeah, go out like partying like on a Wednesday night kind of thing. Just go drinking. And Cleveland doesn't have that much of a party scene on a Wednesday night, so I would just be like going to random places with probably people that weren't good for me.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since then. I actually don't think I get a lot of hypomania anymore.
Where do you land? Just your even keel?
Yeah, I think I'm on a right kind of on the right therapy right now to not really experience that, because like yourself, if I have like a hypomanic type of experience, I know it's just a matter of time until like come down crashing.
Yeah.
Like crashing down in flames into more depression, because does seem to have that bounce
So, yeah, if we could talk about angel numbers for a minute. I don't know if people know what they are really.
Enlighten us.
I think, well, as far as I know, like when I got manic in 2005 and ended up in the hospital, I started noticing 1111 a lot. And then once you read up on 1111, and I mean, there's people that call their podcasts like 1111, like it's a whole thing, like it's books have been written about, like so. And then I think once you recognize 1111 and you research it and you go into other numbers, like I was telling you earlier off air, I was at the nutrition store and my bill came out to 4747, which is an angel number, and I just have to look it up online, and then you find out what it means, and you kind of move on to these other numbers, like even like 1257 is an angel number. You have to, like, things that you wouldn't think is an angel number could be an angel number. You look that one up, and then it means something, and then it's like having your own little, what's that called? The people that read your sign with this, it's like having your own astrologer. It's really cool looking them up online and seeing what they mean.
Yeah, I've had that experience too with like 333 and 111 and stuff that just follows me everywhere. I think for myself, compared to some of the things that you do, is that my threshold for something to be an angel number is pretty high. Like I have to see something more than like 5 times for it to be like, maybe I'm just more concrete and less in tune with it. But seem to be more like skeptical of something being an angel number. But once I know something is definitely keeps repeating over and over and over again, and I definitely know something's trying to communicate with me, and it's usually benevolent, like somebody's trying to help me out of some sort.
Yeah.
Somebody's telling me like this is where you are in life, and it's gonna be all right. And it's hopeful. You know, it's I will say though, a lot of those like angel number guides you see on the internet that tells you like what angel numbers mean, they all kind of seem to be the same to me a little bit. Like, I wonder if there's like a better resource out there than just like a blog spot, internet site or something that tells you about them.
I wanted to give out the website that I go to, but it's not. Here it is. It's called Angel. It's called Joanne Sacred Scribes is what I go to. I just plunk in angel number, and then I put the number after it.
Yeah.
And then I put Joanne Sacred Scribes after that, and I get her website, and she's got all of them on there.
Okay.
Yeah, and she explains all of them, and then there's links to other ones, and sometimes angel numbers you can add them up, like incrementally, and then come up with another number that you can also check out. So it's really cool.
You want to know something cool?
What's that?
There's this style of biblical interpretation called gematria.
Oh yeah.
Which is basically using the numerical value of a letter, either in Hebrew or in Latin or Greek, and those numbers tend to have patterns within Scripture, and they tend to have patterns within other scriptures too, like in the Quran and Bhagavad Gita and all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of those angel numbers, well, put it this way, I think divine truths are expressed to us numerically. And you see that in the scriptures.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that kind of in kind of everyday life, our environment talking to us numerically.
And music too. And all synchronicities, I think, all are like the spirit world trying to talk to you, like wake you up, steer you in the direction that you need to go in if you're at a crossroads in your life.
Have you ever, I know you're not like a musician or anything, but do you know about music theory that uses geometry as his base?
Like 3-6-9 stuff? Solfeggio stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
That's more based on like hertz. I'm thinking more like So if you have like the circle of fifths on a wheel, or if you have like the chromatic scale on a wheel, there's 12 numbers. You can superimpose different patterns on it.
Okay.
Like, for example, you could do a triangle, and it'll always be an augmented chord. And if you start plotting in stuff like a lot of the patterns you see out in like the Sri Yantra and all these other like geometric patterns that are associated with mysticism,
Yeah.
get some really cool stuff out of it.
Right.
Even if you do like just start doing random patterns, just see what you get. A lot of it turns out to be like, it looks sacred to me. Like you do like a major scale, and when you plot it out like with lines on a wheel, like it turns out to be a cool like star or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think, like I was saying, numerically, things, spirituality has its like.
It speaks to you through numbers.
Yeah, it speaks to you through numbers. I think that's cool, and I think angel numbers themselves are part of that whole panorama.
Yeah. Should we discuss the eclipse coming up in less than a week?
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. So Cleveland is in the line of totality, I think they call it.
Yeah.
I think we're supposed to see it for 3 minutes and like 45 seconds or something like that, which is a pretty long time.
Is there a time of the day that we're supposed to be expecting it?
3:13 in the afternoon for us.
Yeah. What a time.
3:13. So it's gonna get dark, and then it's gonna be light, dark, and light. So
interesting.
And there's a lot of people coming from out of town to watch it with the Ohioans.
Interesting.
Around the world, around. So that's gonna be cool.
Do you think eclipse have a spiritual meaning to them?
You know what I think is gonna happen?
What?
The fake alien invasion is gonna start on that day.
Oh, dude!
I went there.
Did
I think the powers that be are planning something quite large for that day.
Well, let me challenge you on that. Not necessarily in the way you might think. Although I agree that something crazy could happen on the eclipse day. What do you think it means spiritually? Because fake alien invasion is more like a physical world thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're living in the Matrix anyways. So like an eclipse is something that happens very, very rarely. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a time to take notice, take stock of what you're doing in your life, and making sure you're on the right path. I don't know.
You think it could be a good time for everybody to receive downloads?
Yeah.
Or
wouldn't
like
that be
maybe
something like a solar flare happening at the same time?
Like an ascension type of moment.
Yeah.
Even if I have a Schumann resonance app, I'm gonna have to check out that day.
Really?
Yeah. I think like last summer, this Schumann resonance went all over the place.
Yeah.
It looked like a double heat. Like it looked like a lattice. So sweet. I've never seen it like that.
Huh. I look at that and I don't know what it means. Like people talk about the Schumann resonance, and it's just the energy of the earth, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a frequency that the earth emits. That's always there. It seems
and
to
sometimes
change.
it just blacks out too, right? Like
yeah,
there'll be nothing
it's
there.
weird. Nobody knows where it comes from.
Nobody knows what that's all about, right?
You know where I think it comes from? I'm gonna be a little bold saying this, but I think the earth is alive.
Yeah.
I think that's the resonance of the consciousness of the earth.
That makes sense to me.
And I think going to like Mars, the humans that go there are gonna have to disconnect from the earth plane, the earth grid, to like the Mars grid.
Oh.
They're gonna change as people. They're gonna it's gonna split the genome of the humanity.
Have you seen those pictures of like how they have like NASA stuff in like Antarctica and they make it look like Mars or something, but they just make it kind of red?
Oh yeah, I never heard of that. No.
Yeah, there's pictures of like, I don't know. I'm becoming a flat earther more and more every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that subject, but it's making more and more sense to me as I research it more and more. Like the firmament, have you heard about the term the firmament? It's supposed to be like
we're like given a dome.
The dome over us.
Yeah. I actually would say that I don't really believe in the flat earth, or that we're in a dome and outside the dome is all water kind of thing.
Or ice, there's an ice
or the
wall
ice wall.
around.
I don't tend to believe that, because another kind of wild take on my end is that I don't think that we're the only species to live in this universe or even in this local area of the galaxy. I think we have visitors that are non-visible to us. And,
interdimensional beings of
yeah,
sorts.
and I would say that not having a planetary sphere and a group of planetary spheres like the solar system will kind of dismantle the idea that we have extraterrestrial visitors. You know what I mean?
What if solar systems exist in the real world and we're just in like not a prison planet per se, but like a testing, like a school of sorts, like Earth is a school? I've heard of that. People talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you're a bad person and you're a murderer or whatever, like you might not advance to the next level of whatever is next. I don't know what's next, but
so my opinion on that, from what I've read and learned, is that humanity itself is a hybrid species, and Earth is like the testing ground for the hybrid species.
Okay.
And that the genome that's itself alien is actually a combination of a lot of different local extraterrestrial beings that are trying to create a hybrid species. And I don't mean like the Greys, the Greys, like the little gray people.
Yeah.
I'm not meaning that specifically, but I mean like other local I would say the word beings from other constellations trying to create a being that's like the best of, I guess, maybe. And there are good guys and bad guys as usual, but you could also argue this stuff is mostly fictional as well, because a lot of it's more knowledge you gain from people who do like psychic readings and mediums and stuff that get this kind of downloads from like the thin air.
Yeah.
So I would say with this kind of stuff, like, use your best judgment, kind of plot it out rationally, and what makes sense, consider, what doesn't, you discard.
Yeah. I think you ever seen that movie Jumanji?
Yeah, I've seen
where
Jumanji.
Where you pick your character and all. I think that's what. I mean, if you look into Dolores Cannon, have you ever looked into her? Okay.
Yeah.
She talks about like you have like this contract when you agree to go to Earth and go through this Earth school or whatever you want to call it. And she says there's certain things on that contract that you have to kind of like stick with during your life, even though your memory has been erased completely from your past life. Like there's some new life path that you're supposed to go on, or you kind of agree to things that you want to achieve in this lifetime. And,
it's where you're saying that Earth is a school, and the soul contract that you have before you're born is kind of like, here are the things that you can gain from this life in your eternal life, kind of thing.
Yeah, things that you're supposed to accomplish, and so if you accomplish all your life plan stuff, then you can move on to whatever the next phase of.
Dude, I just looked over at the meter for where we're at.
Yeah.
And it was at 333. It was at 3 bars. Shoot. Never mind.
It was an angel number?
It was an angel number that I saw within the markers of the meter where we're going on here.
Oh, nice.
Anyway. Mark, why don't we do a thank you, or like a ending check-in?
Okay.
What are your thoughts about that?
A check-in with our
So how are you doing?
Oh, how am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm in pain, dude. Like, that's why I've been making these weird moves, like, while we're trying to talk, because I have a shoulder injury.
Okay.
And I haven't dealt with it yet. I just kind of been hoping it goes away. I was hanging from a branch where I sometimes do pull-ups at home.
Okay.
And I, like, shifted my body weight while I was hanging, and it, like, wrenched my left shoulder.
Oh, that's not
And I
good.
didn't think anything of it at the time, and I kept, like, doing more, like, hangs, where you don't do a pull-up, you just kind of hang there. And it just hasn't gone away. It like tingles, and I lose feeling in my left arm.
Oh, man. Because you got potentially have nerve damage?
I don't know. I should probably get it checked out. It's been like 3 weeks now since I injured it. But Yeah, like I told you before, we almost had to cancel today because our guest didn't show.
That's unfortunate.
For the podcast, yeah. So I called you and I was like, dude, I feel bummed out that we're not doing the show, and then we decided to do the show regardless. So I think that's a good thing. We're moving forward.
Shows commitment, right?
Yeah, you got to have commitment.
Yeah.
Showing up is like what 90% of the thing. Just to
yeah,
show
90% of the battle is just showing up.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm glad we both showed up today.
Recently I've been. I recently resigned from my job because I wanted to take a different path in life, away from the corporate drone life.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that I'm focusing on are stuff like this podcast and stuff with my music projects and stuff. And I gotta say, man, I'm glad my plans fell through for today. That would have kept us from doing this podcast, and because that makes me feel like, hey, you're still making progress,
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna, because I've been experiencing a little bit of doubt, like self-doubt with everything, and just being able to meet today, it's a good thing, and it gives you a little bit more confidence.
Don't you think that self-doubt is like a demonic kind of presence in your head? Like it's like a negative versus a positive.
It can be.
Yeah.
I think negative mental states can come from external and internal. And I think for myself right now, I feel like it's definitely an internal battle.
Yeah.
We all have our own, for lack of a better term, our own personal demons, I guess.
So I guess you're either in a place of fear or you're in a place of love.
Yeah.
And those two kind of like go back and forth throughout the days. It seems like
that makes sense.
Like sometimes when I wake up and I'm in a state of fear because I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
But I end up like showing up. I got to show up.
Right.
So I just got to keep to a routine, show up, and hope for tomorrow's going to be a better day. And usually it is, but it just takes time. Years, decades.
Yeah.
So, but I'm pretty happy overall. Yeah, I don't have any real complaints.
It's cool, man.
You got a cool cat.
Thanks, dude. Little kitties.
It's not your
out
typical
the window.
cat. It's like really like skinny and has long hair. It's like just a really original cat.
Oh, your cat?
Your cat.
Oh, she's got a long hair,
Yeah.
Calico.
Oh, that what it's called?
She's really pretty. That's the first things. Like, I remember when I first saw a listing for her on Facebook. I was like, man, that's a beautiful little kitten.
Oh, you got her when she was a kitten?
Yeah, she was like 6 weeks old, and I was like, yeah, let's go pick her up.
How old is she now?
So that was in the summer of 2021. So 3-ish.
Okay.
Almost 4, maybe. Not good at math.
I think she hears a cat in another apartment or something.